Now then, Mr. Vikstad, how can I help you?
Well, I'm thinking about transferring, but I'm not sure. I was hoping you could help me make a decision.
I'll try. Where are you thinking of transferring to, and why do you want to leave Cryptus U?
I'm thinking of going to Central University because it's in my hometown. I've been kind of homesick this year, and I haven't made many friends. I just feel so lonely. So I thought that maybe it'd be better to be closer to my parents and friends and all.
I see. And would you keep the same major if you transferred? What is it, business administration?
Yeah, I would. The credits I've earned here will transfer to Central. I've already checked.
May I ask why you chose to come to Cryptus University in the first place?
Sure. Well, the main reason is you have a great business school, and the second reason is that I wanted to get away from home.
You're right, Mr. Vikstad. We do have an excellent business school, but so does Central. The thing is, you've got almost a year under your belt here now. At Central, you'll be starting from scratch.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm a little bit familiar with Central because I had older friends who went there, and I visited it before I came here.
You know, freshman year is usually the hardest. I remember how homesick I was my first year. I'll tell you, I was ready to pack it in after the first 2 weeks. But the longer I stayed, the more comfortable I felt. By senior year, I was glad I chose to stay.
Really? Did it get a lot better your sophomore year?
Yes, it did. You might well find the same is true for you. Also, even though your credits here will transfer, you will have to take extra courses because Central has different requirements. You'll probably have to go to school for an extra year.
I hadn't thought about that. I'll have to check into it. Maybe I should give it one more year. I mean, it's probably good for me to learn to live away from my family and friends, right? It'll make me stronger in the future.
You can always move back there after you graduate. Of course, by that time, you may not want to.
Thank you for all your help. I guess I'll find out the exact transfer requirements. You've given me a lot to think about.
Don't mention it. If you feel like you want to talk more, don't hesitate to come back and see me.
You've been reading about animal behavior. Today we'll discuss one of the most astonishing behaviors in the animal world, dancing bees. Did you know that bees can dance? Well, neither did scientists until the 1960s. That's when a German scientist named Karl von Frisch noticed something truly remarkable. As he was observing honeybees, he noticed that some of the bees, which he called scout bees, flew out of the hive to look for food. When a scout found a site where there was food, it flew back to the beehive and started dancing. This dance somehow told the other honeybees where the food was, because after the dance, some of the bees flew from the hive straight to the site of the food. Von Frisch called the bees that collect the food forager bees. He thought the scout bees' dance told the forager bees three things. First, the smell of the food it had found. Second, which direction to fly to reach the food. And third, the distance of the food site from the beehive. Von Frisch won the 1973 Nobel Prize for this discovery, but many scientists were skeptical of his theory. They didn't believe it was the dance that led the forager bees to food. Instead, they thought it might be, the smell of the food in the dancing bee, or maybe that they just followed the scout back to the food site. Well, very recently, some British scientists used a new type of radar to prove that von Frisch's theory was indeed correct. It is the dance that communicates this information to other bees. British researchers found that the scout bees perform two types of dances. If the food is near the hive, say, about 50 or 60 meters away, the scout flies in a round pattern, like a circle. This tells the location, but not the direction of the food site. If the site is farther away, the scout does what's called a waggle dance. It flies in a pattern of ovals and vertical lines. The speed of the waggle dance tells other bees how far away the food site is. The slower the dance, the farther away the food. If the scout flies in a vertical line up the side of the beehive, it's telling the foragers to fly directly towards the sun. If the scout flies vertically down the hive, it's saying, fly away from the sun. Up is toward, down is away. If the scout flies at an angle to the hive, it's telling the foragers to fly neither toward nor away from the sun, but in between. The bees have a special internal mechanism to know which angle they should fly based on the sun, the hive, and the food site. They can also measure the distance they fly by recording the motion of things they see as they fly past. Now, one problem with von Fitch's theory had been this. It seems to take the forager bees a long time to reach the food site. That's why scientists thought that perhaps it wasn't the waggle dance that led them there. For many years, scientists couldn't follow the foragers after they left the hive, because they didn't have the technology. Just a few years ago, though, the British scientists solved this problem using a new type of radar. They were able to attach a small radio transmitter to forager bees. I don't know how, but they did. This enabled them to follow the forager bees' flight after they left the hive. The radar showed that foragers do, in fact, fly straight to the area of the food site. They don't follow the scout bee back to the site because the scout goes into the hive after it finishes dancing. Well then, if the waggle dance does lead the foragers directly to the food site, why does it take so long for them to find the actual food? The answer is that the waggle dance leads the foragers only to the general area of the food. It doesn't tell them the exact location of the flowers or plants that have the food. So the foragers have to spend a while flying around the area before they find the exact location of what they're looking for.
Morning, Myra.
Oh, hi, Arthur. You're taking Ecology 311 too?
Looks like it. It's my only elective this term.
Really? What happened?
Oh, I just took too many my second year, and now I've got to pick up all the required courses I've been ignoring. University's just too much fun, I guess.
Too many parties?
No. Well, yeah, that too. But you know, there's just so many interesting things to learn about, and we've only got 4 years here to explore them. I've been having too good a time at it, that's all. But it has helped me decide my major, finally.
And?
Business ad. I've learned a lot here, and one thing I've learned is that most fields don't hold out a lot of promise for gainful employment. So I'm playing it safe and going for my BA in Business Administration.
So why 311? An ecology course isn't going to help you in your office job at some corporation.
Probably not, but it still seems interesting and important. We all need to know about the environment, no matter what we do for a living.
Yeah, you're right. And maybe you will be able to use it. Maybe you'll end up working for a green company or something.
Could be. There's more and more of those every day.
And thank goodness. Poor old Earth.
Is that why you're taking this?
Well, it's not an elective for me. I need 311 for my BS program. We need several cross-field courses to broaden our understanding, and this is one of them. Actually, though, I'm looking forward to this course. Nature's influence on man, man's influence on nature. Sounds like a really useful topic, doesn't it? And Dr. Forsythe is supposed to be a very engaging lecturer.
Well, his website is a gas, at least. He's got a hilarious little eco game on it. Shoot the wolves and see how many deer reproduce and eat all the grass.
I suppose that would teach 5th graders about the balance of nature.
Hey, it was fun. Anyway, he's also got some good information there. It'll probably come in handy when he gives us homework.
Wow, you're right. I better take a look at it myself. Can you give me his URL?
It's listed right in the course guide where they describe the course. But if you can't find it, I'll give it to you next time. Or I could email it to you. What's your address?
That would be great, thanks. MyraSweetie@umail.com. Here, I'll write it down for you. Did you pick up your textbook yet?
No, I've been looking for a second-hand copy before I sprang for a new one. It's expensive. $45.
They all are, aren't they? Why do poor college students have to pay so much for their textbooks? It ain't fair.
It's just economics. Nobody reads them except the students that take the courses. The publishers probably didn't print more than a few hundred copies of our text, you know.
Still, they could print them in paperback, couldn't they? That would save us some money.
And on newsprint, sure. Some students do keep them, though, for reference after they graduate, if they're working in that field. In that case, they need to be durable. My dad still got his college accounting textbooks, and he uses them all the time.
I suppose you're right. Where are you going to find a used copy? At the bookstore?
They don't have any there now. I checked. I put up some notes on the science building bulletin boards yesterday. Maybe someone there's got one they don't want to keep anymore.
Well, if you hear about 2 of them, will you let me know? I'd like to save a little money, too.
Sure. If I do, I'll buy it for you and you can pay me back. How much are you willing to pay?
Oh, anything under $35 will be fine. A penny saved is a penny earned. But if you haven't found one by next Monday, I'll have to buy a new one then. So email me Sunday night either way, will you?
You bet. Oops, here's Dr. Forsythe now.
Excuse me, would you mind if I asked you some questions? We're doing a survey on transport.
Yes, that's okay.
First of all, can I take your name?
Yes, it's Sadie Jones.
Thanks very much. And could I have your date of birth? Just the year will do, actually. Is that all right?
Yes, that's fine. It's 1991.
So, next, your postcode, please.
It's DW30 7YZ.
Great, thanks. Is that in Wells?
No, it's actually in Harborne. Wells isn't far from there, though.
I really like that area. My grandmother lived there when I was a kid.
Yes, it is nice.
Right, so now I want to ask you some questions about how you travelled here today. Did you use public transport?
Yes, I came by bus.
OK, and that was today. It's the 24th of April, isn't it?
Isn't it the 25th? No, actually, you're right.
And what was the reason for your trip today? I can see you've got some shopping with you.
Yes, I did some shopping, but the main reason I came here was to go to the dentist.
That's not much fun. Hope it was nothing serious.
No, it was just a checkup. It's fine.
Good. Do you normally travel by bus into the city centre?
Yes, I stopped driving in ages ago because parking was so difficult to find, and it costs so much.
I see.
The bus is much more convenient too. It only takes about 30 minutes.
That's good. So where did you start your journey?
At the bus stop on Claxby Street.
Is that CLAXBY?
That's right.
And how satisfied with the service are you? Do you have any complaints?
Well, as I said, it's very convenient and quick when it's on time. But this morning it was late. Only about 10 minutes, but still.
Yes, I understand that's annoying. And what about the timetable? Do you have any comments about that?
I suppose I mainly use the bus during the day, but any time I've been in town in the evening, for dinner or at the cinema, I've noticed you have to wait a long time for a bus. There aren't that many.
OK, thanks. So now I'd like to ask you about your car use.
Well, I have got a car, but I don't use it that often. Mainly just to go to the supermarket. But that's about it, really. My husband uses it at the weekends to go to the golf club.
And what about a bicycle?
I don't actually have one at the moment.
What about the city bikes you can rent? Do you ever use those?
No, I'm not keen on cycling there because of all the pollution. But I would like to get a bike. It would be good to use it to get to work.
So why haven't you got one now?
Well, I live in a flat on the second floor, and it doesn't have any storage, so we'd have to leave it in the hall outside the flat.
I see. Okay, well, I think that's all we need from you today, Sadie.